All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Summers have set in. The weather is really warm and a little sticky too. But as we know, the life continues and goes on. And what you think comes through. So here we are, Motherhood Club, bringing to you once again a session on knowledge sharing. So this is one more, the second in series on the book reading show. I have with me Rachna Bedi, who is a co reader with me, and both of us have read a particular book, which we will share with you in terms of what was the book all about, how did it help us, and what is it that we learned out of it. Before we go further, I am Monica Goel Diwan, Chief Cheering Officer of Motherhood Club. Along with that, I am an HR professional and have a full time job of office as well as home. Similar is the case of Rachna. She is almost like 20 plus years of friendship that we share. Yeah, we go a long back. We shared our youth together, and post that, we moved into different directions of her life. Rachna has been an IT specialist, and then she moved into the life of line of life being a life coach. I would actually leave Rachna to tell you what is a life coach all about. But along with that, she is a wonderful friend, wonderful person, and a great mother and a beautiful wife. Over to you, Rachna.
Thank you, Monica, for such a lovely description and introduction. Um, as Monica said, she's been a very, very dear friend and a very old friend. Um, she's asked me to tell you about what life coaching is all about. So, how I would define life coaching is you're able to hear
Yeah,
me, right?
yeah.
So,
Carry on, Rachna.
how I would define life coaching is, a life coach is someone who is who taps into your inner self, who makes you design your own life the way you want. He or she mentors you into that kind of living. And I'm a work in progress in that field and very, very passionate about it. Also, I would here like to welcome each and everyone who's logged in for this live session. And now, without wasting much time, let's start what we're here for.
Yep.
So, me and Monica, we decided on reading up a book, and the book that we chose was Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. This is a wonderful book, and yes, when we started reading it, um, I thought it's just going to be like a normal run of the mill book. But after we finished reading it, we both shared the same sentiments that it was a book not just about personal development, it was something which was totally uplifting and empowering. It had so Jeff Keller has written it in a very easy to understand English language. It's a very thin, crisp book, but the way he's connected with the readers is amazing because he's narrated his own journey. He's been a lawyer and how he transitioned from a lawyer to a motivational speaker, what all fears, doubts, and everything came to his mind, and how he changed his attitude towards a better living and a joyful life. Uh, by the end of it, I felt amazed how a book can have the power to uplift a reader's mind. He's taken us through a beautiful journey with lovely quotes in the book and some lovely real life examples, and that's
Yeah.
the best part about the book. Even Monica uh, you know reiterated the fact that with me while we were discussing that the examples are so real given in the book that one can relate to it very well.
Yep. Absolutely,
So,
Rachna.
yeah. So, while we were reading this book, I was thinking that there were many things in this book that appealed to both me and Monica. So, I would like to ask Monica here that which part of the book you think you could relate to while you were reading the book? What did you think that you could, which part was very relatable in terms of your own life?
In fact, thanks, Rachna. I think you've given a beautiful synopsis of the book to start with, and it gives us a good sneak peek into what the entire book could cover. Just to give a little more idea about the book, before I answer Rachna's question and share which part of the book appealed to me a little more. The book has been divided into three different parts, wherein in the first part, the author talks about initiation of thoughts, that how thoughts could become reality. The second part is all about words, that what you speak eventually becomes your reality and destiny. And third part is when you have self belief, the entire universe starts out to support you, right? I'm sure this particular dialogue or this particular statement would help us recall a very famous dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan. जब किसी चीज को आप शिद्दत से चाहते हो तो पूरी कायनात आपको उससे मिलाने में जुड़ जाती है. So this is what the book is all about. Now, coming to which part of the book could I relate to the most? There is one particular chapter in the book which talks about identify your fears, confront your fears, and accept that it's a part of you. Because all of us generally have multiple fears, or you can say limitations in our lives, right? And we don't feel like accepting it. It's like, why me? As if, you can talk about, so for example, when you were a little child, uh, you're scared. A lot of children are scared of dogs, right? But when you get a puppy at home, suddenly the fear goes away. You start loving that puppy, right? Now, why did this particular aspect of fear, confronting your fear, appeal to me? Since childhood, I had been suffering, or I would not say suffering, I had this illness which uh, curtailed my physical activities to some extent, and also stopped me from enjoying certain foods which I liked. For a very, very long time in my life, I kept questioning the world and the universe and the God and everybody, that why me? I can't do certain things because of this. I'm afraid that I will fall ill if I eat this. I'm afraid that I'll have an issue. I'll have to go to the hospital if I, dance a little more, or if I'll do some physical activity a little more. I was afraid of all these things. And because of this, if I look back now, I have not really lived my childhood to the maximum that I could have. Because this was a fear which was always living with me, inside me, around me, surrounded me. But then a certain point in time was a turning point in my life. I was, I think I was, I was married. And when I decided to extend my family, the next question was that will my child also have a similar ailment? I didn't want to live in that fear forever, right? And that's when I met with this amazing doctor. And she told me something. She said, what you believe, if you believe that your child will have the ailment, he or she will have it. And if you believe he or she will not have it, he or she will not have it. So, first is you have to accept the fact that you have this ailment. It's fine, there are medications around it. Use those medications, work around it, and move ahead in life. Life is more beautiful as compared to what you're living, right? And I think that was the point in time. It's been almost 12 years now. And that was a point in time which helped me turn around. So I accepted the fact that I have this ailment. I accepted the medications that I should be eating, because uh, I was like, okay, I'm living a life of a recluse. I was afraid of everything. But then this coming of new life in my life helped me realize that yes, there is a beautiful life around me, and I have to just go and embrace it. So this is one example that I can give you. And I think when I was reading this particular chapter on confronting of fears, I immediately could relate to it. I think I've said a lot about me. Let's hear Rachna also. Uh, Rachna, if I have to ask you, a similar question, but maybe in a different format. So there are, when Jeff was writing this book, there are multiple life lessons that he has written, right? Wherein it could be about words, it could be about thoughts, it could be about fears or anything. You being a life coach, I would relate it to that. So, which particular lesson is something which stuck with you or appealed to you the maximum, the most?
Yes, Monica, you're right. Jeff has given a lot of life lessons in this book. So the one that appealed to me, and I could have 1,000 examples in running in my mind while reading that particular lesson, was where he talked about visualization. So he talks about a technique. It's called visualization. He calls it mental movie.
Mm-hmm.
सो हमारे साथ क्या होता है, जैसे कई बार बचपन में भी हमारे साथ कुछ घटना होती है, कुछ छोटे बड़े कुछ भी इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं जो हमें बहुत बहुत अच्छे से याद रह जाते हैं. वी पेंट अ वेरी विविड पिक्चर ऑफ इट. सम थिंग्स वी फॉरगेट बट सम थिंग्स स्टे विद अस.
Yeah,
इतना कि हमको ये भी याद रह जाता है कि उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे हमने क्या कपड़े पहने थे, हम कहाँ पे
I
थे, हमारे
agree.
साथ कौन था, वो समय क्या था, ऑल
True.
दोज पर्टिकुलर डिटेल्स. So visualization is basically he's talking about those movies that keep playing in our mind. So while I was reading it, I thought about one person I was coaching. He was a sales and marketing person, a very senior in his company, and he would tell me that he has a good knowledge of his product, but sometimes, most of the times, when he's delivering some presentation or he's talking to somebody, he feels very he feels frozen. He can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
So when we analyzed and we spoke about his memories of the past, we understood that there was a time when, as a child, he was passionate about taking part in a stage show in school, like we have our annual days. So, like a very excited child, he went to the stage, rehearsed, and everything was going very well. But once he saw the whole crowd, he felt nervous and forgot his lines, and the whole audience started to make fun of it and started mocking at him. So he made he was very nervous, and he made a meaning that he's not a good public speaker, he can never talk. So that stayed with him. So he's what Jeff Keller here is trying to make a point is that we all have these memories. Now we can't go and change that past,
Mm.
but what we can do is we can change the meaning we have given to that particular incident.
True.
It does not mean that if we could not speak at that particular time on a small stage, it does not mean that we can never talk to anybody. So let's say that particular person wants to be a good speaker.
Mm.
The technique he tells you is that you imagine yourself, visualize yourself, make a movie wherein you are a speaker standing in front of thousands and thousands of people with full confidence. Imagine your body language. He talks to you in a way that you involve all your senses. You think about how your body language is. You imagine the whole crowd is applauding for you, there is a standing ovation, you are talking in full confidence. So he says that even if the thing has not happened, you imagine that it has happened,
Yeah.
and you imagine it in full positivity, so much so that he imagine that it has, you make a movie out of it. and play it very often. So he also says that our memories, our mind has to keep playing this movie. How our mind has a inner voice, it will keep talking the whole day. So similarly, it keeps playing these mind movies always, and we are the ones who create those mind movies. We are the director, the script writer, or whatever of those movies. So if we do not consciously stop and play the right movies, what the mind will do is it will go into the archives department, and it will just play whatever it wants to play. It will just pick up anything from the past, and then those old movies will keep playing again and again.
Yeah.
So the technique, he says, is we have to consciously stop playing those old movies. We cannot change the past. Certainly there can be some traumas, there can be some bad incidences, there can be some unpleasant stories, but we can certainly give it a new meaning, reshape it the way we want. So that bit I really liked. It's I thought it was very powerful, that how we can just imagine ourselves. And he also goes on to say, give a very beautiful example, when he talks about the singer Celine Dion. He says, in one of the TV interviews, somebody asked her that, did you imagine at the start of your career that you're going to be such a successful singer, selling millions of records, and singing in front of so many thousands and thousands of people? So her answer was very surprising. She said, yes, I had imagined all of this since I was 5 years old. I kept playing those videos in my mind. So it's very important how we perceive ourselves and how we give meanings to our own movies. So this was just one technique which I really loved. There are so many. The book is full of those techniques.
Absolutely. आई
And
थिंक विजुअलाइजेशन जो तुमने बोली रचना, विजुअलाइजेशन एक्चुअली में बहुत ही पावरफुल टेक्निक है.
yes,
बिकॉज अगर हम सोच लें कि हम ये कर सकते हैं तो हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. मतलब if I have to read some points, Ekta mentions Major General Vikram Dogra had actually visualized the Iron Man title, and he actually did it not once but twice.
yes,
Right, so visualization is very very powerful. Okay, now visualization के ऊपर if I have to give you one more example which is like of a child. Okay, जब हम लोग अपने बच्चों को साइकिल चलाना सिखाते हैं तो हम लोग उनको क्या दिखाते हैं कि देखो वो साइकिल चला रहे हैं, ऐसे चलानी है हमने. राइट, तो द चाइल्ड स्टार्ट्स प्लेइंग इन हिज माइंड कि वो साइकिल चला रहा है. राइट, कि मैंने तो
yeah,
साइकिल चलानी है. अदरवाइज अगर वो सोच ले कि नहीं हो सकता तो वो कभी नहीं कर सकता. बट बच्चों के दिमाग में, स्पेशली द किड्स, दे आर एब्सोल्युटली सो प्योर कि उनके दिमाग में कभी भी ये बात नहीं आती कि वो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. उनके दिमाग में सिर्फ पॉजिटिव विजुअलाइजेशन होता है.
yes. So true.
राइट.
Because when we are born with a very positive attitude. It's just later
राइट,
on that
all
we are.
this world and the people around us, they feel this negativity in us.
Yes, so true.
Right, ये मत करो, चोट लग जाएगी. But the child wants to try it. Right,
Yeah.
वो तभी ट्राई कर करके सीखता है. बिकॉज द विजुअलाइजेशन, द इमेजिनेशन ऑफ दैट चाइल्ड इज दैट आई एम डूइंग इट.
और जब वो अल्टीमेटली चला पाता है विदाउट पेरेंट्स होल्डिंग द साइकिल एंड
यस,
somebody helping him out, जब वो अल्टीमेटली फर्स्ट राइड ले पाता है अपनी, it is actually such a big victory for him. It is as big as somebody making the sales numbers, or
absolutely.
anything corresponding to that.
Actually, you took a very beautiful example of sales numbers.
Yeah.
Right, in our corporate life, that's what we see. When
Correct.
we do our morning huddles, we tell people that guys, imagine 31st March को हमारे को इतना 100 करना है या इतने thousands करना है या इतने crores करना है, and imagine we have done it. We'll have a gala party, we'll have a fine bonus coming in, we'll have promotions, we'll have this and that. So that imagination starts from the first of the month, which helps people to reach, take baby steps and reach that 31st March ka closing.
Correct.
That is all visualization. Right, that is
Yes.
a positive reinforcement by somebody, but positive visualization by the entire team.
Yes.
Ekta gives a beautiful example, and Ekta, I will completely agree with you 100%, bang on. Motherhood Club is a huge example of visualization. It keeps seeing the movie and it keeps advancing towards its mission and vision. Hats
How
off to
lovely.
you. And it's fantastic. And honestly, I feel privileged to be a part of this great team. And welcome, Rachna, on board.
Thank you so much. I'm already enjoying the journey.
Fantastic. Great. So,
So,
okay.
we've spoken about visualization and
Yeah,
how, also how he talks about we being children, we have a very clean window. He calls it as a
that's right.
window. Jeff Keller calls
Yes,
it our attitude as window to the world. And he says that, how the window gets dirty is only when people start ridiculing us,
that's
which be
right.
judgments, disapprovals,
Yep.
rejections.
Mm,
So, that's how our window becomes dirty. So it's up to us how whether we want to see the world through a clean window or a dirty window. But there are a lot of times people have a lot of issues and a lot of problems and they
yes.
complain a lot. So they say that this is all good, these kind of general gyan about attitude being the right, being everything in life. But they say when we have a real problem in hand, when we are going through so much torture or pain or suffering, how relevant is it to talk about good things in life? And how is it applicable then if our pain is real? Then how do we talk about good things?
You've actually hit on the nail, because uh, जैसा कि सब कहते हैं, अच्छे में तो सारी बातें पॉसिबल है, बुरे टाइम पे करके बताओ तो जाने,
Yeah.
राइट? और या फिर फ्रेंड्स आर देयर फॉर गुड लाइफ, गुड टाइम्स. डू वी हैव फ्रेंड्स फॉर द बैड टाइम्स? That's what is the real test of anything, whether it is friendship, or it is positivity, or it is attitude, or whatever you call it. If something is able to help you come out of the bad phases of your life, is the real test, right? Now, how do you handle it, and how do you continue to be positive and maintain your attitude in the right spirit when you yourself are in the doldrums, या फिर जब आपका टाइम इतना बुरा चल रहा है कि जो भी आप करते हैं वो उल्टा ही पड़ता है, उस टाइम पर पॉजिटिविटी कैसे रखी जाए? राइट, कहना बहुत आसान है, बट द फैक्ट रिमेन्स, अगर इस समय, उस वक्त में जिसमें सब कुछ उल्टा हो रहा है आपकी लाइफ में, अगर उस टाइम पर आपने एक अपने दिमाग में पॉजिटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट रख ली, अपने फियर्स को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, अपने फेलियर्स को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, द वर्ल्ड इज आउट देयर वेटिंग फॉर यू, राइट? उस टाइम पर आप क्या कर सकते हो? The first thing that you can probably see is, uh, try to find those people who are positive. Get yourself surrounded with the right set of people.
So true.
Okay. So if I start telling my colleagues or my friends, ये कंपनी तो बहुत खराब है और ये लोग तो बहुत खराब हैं, या फिर ये टाइम बहुत खराब है, so everybody will feel sad, right? People will start thinking, it is called a mob mentality also. I will initiate that mob mentality in a negative manner. But अगर आपके आसपास लोग हैं जो आपको बोल रहे हैं कि it's a fantastic time, it's a great time, right? If good times don't remain, bad times also won't remain. It's a phase of life, circle of life keeps coming in. So accept it, live in present, be happy, get yourself surrounded with the right set of people so that they can tell you the right things in your life. That is important. ओके, जैसे हम लोग जब स्कूल या कॉलेजेस में थे तो देयर इज ऑलवेज अ नीड टू हैव द राइट सेट ऑफ टीचर और अ प्रिंसिपल और अ गाइड और अ कोच. That's very critical. Okay, now the question that's popped in is how to find those right set of people. Okay, easier said than done, क्योंकि जब हम नेगेटिव मोड में होते हैं तो हमें जो नेगेटिव बोल रहा होता है हमें उसकी बात बहुत अच्छी लगती है, क्योंकि ये हमारी मेंटालिटी पे सोच रहा है। मैं कह रही हूँ मॉर्निंग खराब है, रचना ने भी बोला मॉर्निंग खराब है, तो आई एम हैप्पी विद हर बिकॉज वो मेरे साथ है, शी इज माई फ्रेंड। बट इफ रचना स्टार्ट्स टेलिंग मी मॉर्निंग ठीक है, आई डोंट सी इट रियली बैड, इट्स गुड, एंड सी दोपहर और अच्छी होने वाली है, इसके लिए थोड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, इट्स नॉट इजी, एंड देर इज नो scientific rule or a process that anybody can define to identify those right set of people.
You're right, Monica. And also, if I may add here,
Yeah.
uh, Jeff Keller, in his book only, is mentioned that there are always two kinds of people, positive and negative. और
Hmm.
हम भी states में से बहुत बार जाते हैं. And he
Correct.
gave a very simple example. I'm sure you would have also liked that particular one where he says, simple question like "How are you?" If somebody
Right.
asks you, there are three set of answers one can give.
Yes.
A low energy answer, a negative answer, which is like, I'm okay, I'm just, life is going on, just alive, not too good,
Yep.
that kind of. And then there is a mediocre response, wherein you says, sorry, I'm okay, comes into the mediocre response. I'm okay, I'm fine, just carrying on. So that
Yep.
would become neither too negative nor too positive, but a positive one would be something like, so a person who's very positive would say, I'm awesome, I'm terrific, I'm doing very
Yep.
good.
Yep.
So if you associate yourself with such kind of people, so imagine you meet two people. One says, "Oh, life is pathetic. How are you?" And the
Hmm.
person says, "Don't even ask." You will feel guilty. Oh, what did I ask? Why did I even ask that person? So those will transfer those negative energies onto you. But if you meet a smiling person who's beaming and there's sparkle in his eyes and he says life is terrific. Now life might not be terrific for him or her. There are ups and downs for everyone. But just by saying it, he's spreading positivity. So when somebody's asking how do you find positive people, these are the kind of people who are positive.
You know, adding to that, when you say positive people, just imagine the life of Paralympics.
Yeah.
Right? All these Paralympics, they are struggling with physical disabilities, and still they are out there training in their specific fields, toiling hard, sweating it out, and winning laurels for the country,
Yeah.
right? So that is a fantastic example of positive people,
Totally. Totally agree.
right? So that's what attitude does to you. In case when the person meets with an accident and loses one of his limb, or any physical disability comes to you, he or she could have decided to sit back and do nothing and keep crying hoarse. But nahi, Paralympics decided कि हमें तो कुछ करना है. This particular thing or this particular aspect of my life is not going to stop me from achieving my dreams,
Yeah.
right? So this is very very crucial for us to understand attitude क्या है. Positivity, focus, aspiration, ambition, aim, all these, if I have to say, in my personal opinion, these are all synonyms of positive attitude. अगर आपका attitude positive है, so there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Life is waiting for you with red carpet to come and walk over it. But it is we who have to decide whether you want to take that first step or not. Or you're still thinking, oops, what will world say? My dress is not right, or I'm not looking right, right? Can I walk on that carpet or not? अगर हम ये सोचते ही रह जाएंगे तो हम उस रेड कार्पेट पे कभी नहीं चल पाएंगे. और लाइफ वो रेड कार्पेट किसी ना किसी टाइम पे हर किसी के लिए स्प्रेड आउट जरूर करती है. everybody gets at least one chance to go all out and achieve. ये हमारे ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, हमारे थॉट्स पे, हमारे वर्ड्स पे और हमारे एक्शन पे, राइट? कि हम वो उस टाइम को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं या छोड़ देते हैं, बिकॉज ऑफ आवर फियर्स, बिकॉज ऑफ आवर नेगेटिव माइंडसेट, बिकॉज ऑफ द पीपल अराउंड अस, बिकॉज ऑफ सम डिसेबिलिटीज, could be anything. I get to see that Mukesh ji says greatest example is Nelson Mandela. Absolutely, Mukesh ji. Examples like Nelson Mandela, or there are many, many such people who have achieved beautifully against all odds. And Nelson Mandela, definitely, no doubt about it. Spending his entire life in a prison is no mean task, right? So this is something which an attitude does to you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Rachna. So we've spoken about positivity, we've spoken about examples and everything. Okay, I am actually very intrigued to know, when you talk about positive attitude,
Hmm.
can there be some scientific techniques, some easy techniques which either you would have picked up from the book or something, which, you know, we or our viewers, our listeners can pick up, which will make things easier for them to imbibe?
Sure. Um, yeah. So in the book also, he's mentioned some wonderful tried and tested techniques because he's researched a lot on this subject. Jeff Keller has scientifically researched, read a lot on this. So one thing he says is, we should read such uplifting piece of literature every single day,
Hmm.
15 to 30 minutes in the morning and just before going to the bed. कभी भी आप ऐसा कुछ पढ़ते हो, so you're feeding your mind some good food for thought, and especially first thing in the morning and last thing at night is even better because that's when your subconscious mind is even better. It's
Yeah.
at play. So once you read those things, even if you're not implementing them right away, it settles in your thoughts because
Hmm.
what we achieve results are starting from our thoughts. There's like a domino effect, thoughts, and then it ultimately leads to results, and
Hmm.
results is what we are all looking for in
Yep.
anything that we're doing. And another thing is also he's suggested that while we are on the move, maybe driving to work or doing our household work, we can listen to some audio messages
Hmm.
which are empowering. It could be in the form of a podcast or an audio clip or something. So mainly he's mentioned these two, but apart from these, I think there is a lot we can do. Like you just mentioned, we can connect with positive people.
Right.
Once our energy levels are higher, we will. In the book, Jeff also calls us as human magnets. So if we are positive, we'll attract positivity only around us. So, and another thing that I totally personally believe is, some form of relaxation or meditation. You calm your mind, take some deep breath. Even if you can't do full-fledged meditation, you can just do some simple deep breathing, and just visualize, just calm your mind, calm your senses for a bit, once a day at least. That I think is a very time-tested and old ancient technique, which always works. Another thing that I have seen work is some form of physical exercise. It could
Yep.
be anything. I mean, I am not talking of fitness in particular, but it could
Hmm.
be anything. Like I like to dance, so anything that makes your body move. It works on the mind also. It
Hmm.
enhances your energy levels, and if you are, let's say, stuck on some pain or trouble in life, it definitely moves you up one notch higher in your uh, how you feel about that. pain.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
definitely you can't ignore your pain, but there's no point dwelling on that pain, right? So you kind of disassociate with that. Uh,
Right.
and if I may add, there could be something which is, like we said, socializing with positive people. That could be one aspect. So these are the techniques basically, which are which sound very small in itself, but they have a huge impact.
In fact, Rachna, you've you've given a very wholesome way of working on one's well-being.
Yeah,
Starting from what you read, to what you speak, to what you do, and how you do it. Right. So reading, no doubt about it, it is like one of the best things that anyone in this universe or world can do to himself or herself. Right. But of course, read the right things, read the right books.
yes.
Right.
And
That's
also
very,
when
very
you said
critical.
words, you actually, I missed out on that. Using the right words, it's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Not
Because
only
what you
thinking.
read, when you start reading it, your vocabulary, the way of your speaking, the words start changing.
Yeah,
That is why you remember when we were kids, our parents used to instill this habit of reading dictionary every day or reading newspapers every day. And they
yeah,
used to tell us that don't read the first page because that's all very gory in India.
yeah,
Maybe read the sports page, right? So yes, reading, no doubt, it can bring in lot of positivity, lot of knowledge, lot of awareness
yeah,
inside you. Yeah. Then physical exercise, very true, because it is whatever form of exercise, whether it is dancing or walking or yoga or anything that you do, is uplifting. It relaxes your entire body, uplifts your soul, and brings a very beautiful smile and a calmness on your face, right?
yeah. We must
So
add smiling also onto this list. While we are talking,
absolutely,
creating the list.
absolutely. Okay, so that's there. And if I may also add one aspect,
Hmm.
and this is especially for all the mothers out there, do not try to be a superhuman being. It's okay if one of those days the laundry is not done. It is okay if the house is not absolutely clean for that one particular day. It is okay if your child has not scored that 100% in all the exams. It's fine. We mothers, specifically for mothers, we mothers want to do everything in the perfect manner. The house should be spanking clean, the laundry should be done, the kids should be looking immaculate, their education should be great, and you are like a perfect trophy wife. No, it's okay. You can have bad hair days the way I'm doing it today. It's okay. My hair is not done. It's fine. It's okay. Accept it. So this is also one fear that a lot of people live with. You know, oops, my drawing room is looking dirty. The cushions are here and there. If somebody walks in the door, my God, it's okay.
What will people think about us?
My God. Let's decide, what will I think about myself?
So
I
beautiful.
am
Yeah.
more important to myself, right? So this is one I think one example or one point that I've added beyond the book, guys, right? So just accept that fact.
And it's very, very relevant. I
Yeah.
can totally connect with it, and we all do it at one time or the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me read some points here, some comments and some questions which might come in. Ekta says, read Antarman and participate in Culture Kona, a tool from us to spread positivity. Absolutely. Uh, an urge to everybody out there who's listening to us, please come on this platform, share your story, join us, and I'm sure in some way or the other, these things will have a positive impact on you. Okay, you should attend talk shows for sure. Yes, Reema ji, it definitely Reema, okay, Rachna's sister, releases good hormones. Yes, absolutely. Smiles like the dimpled smile of Rachna, it spreads good hormones. Okay. Uh, Absolutely, Mukesh ji, it is how you do it. That is the most important thing, because reading, writing, or even speaking, right? Everything is boils down to one thing: how you do it. How do you read? What do you read? How do you write? What do you write? And how do you speak? What do you speak? This is how things can change. Okay. Rima likes your example of dancing. Amazing connect to dance. Dancing or any of your favorite activity is good for your brain. It increases your serotonin levels.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Rima. Um, yeah. So Rima says all things don't align in a perfect way every day. Yes, there are bad hair days. Yeah. There are those days wherein the morning was perfect, but by the time evening comes in, everything is absolutely upside down. Possible. Mukesh ji asks, what's your take? Attitude is everything when we find attitude is so much dramatized in FB culture. In the Facebook culture, attitude is all about seeking those thumbs ups or the comments, right? That's what people out there are looking at. Yes, I agree. In terms of today's times, things are changing, they are getting distorted a bit. But I think by doing these knowledge sharing sessions and trying to bring in some difference in people's lives and all, it is a little step that we are taking to break that shackle that Facebook is all about getting those likes and the thumbs ups. No, it's not. There can be much more to it, and that's the endeavor that Motherhood Club had initiated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a platform. It depends on how you use it, right? You can
correct.
use it to your
Correct.
advantage or to your disadvantage. You can be, a slave to it, or you can, empower people through it.
Absolutely. All right. So, okay, so if I have to think, we've spoken about the book and we've spoken about the examples and everything, and I'm sure people would be now looking forward to go and buy this book and read it for themselves, because when they start reading it themselves, then only they'll be able to relate it a little more. Okay. बट अगर हमने अपने बारे में सोचना हो रचना, ओके, ऐसा कौन सा पीस है जो इस बुक का या चैप्टर है या लेसन है जो हमने इमिडिएटली इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया या करने की सोची है?
एक्चुअली बहुत सारे इसमें हैं जो हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं बहुत इजीली. इट्स नॉट दैट. सो व्हेन ही इज टॉकिंग कि एटीट्यूड हम चेंज कर सकते हैं, इट्स नॉट दैट इट्स अ वेरी लॉन्ग रन टू चेंज एटीट्यूड. एटीट्यूड तो एक सेकंड में भी चेंज हो सकता है. He gives an example that you can imagine yourself eating an ice cream, visualize an ice cream or something. Suddenly from a bad day, a bad
A
moment, a good
smile
moment,
comes to your
a
face.
smile comes to your face, right? So it's not a rocket science कि हम नहीं कर सकते.
Hmm.
कर तो सकते हैं, एक सेकंड में भी चेंज कर सकते हैं अपना एटीट्यूड. और चाहे तो वो जर्नी को बहुत प्लेजेंट भी बना सकते हैं. वी कैन मेक इट आवर ओन लिटिल विक्ट्री, आवर ओन लिटिल जर्नी ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग आवर एटीट्यूड like he's done it in the book.
Yeah.
So there is lot which can be like a takeaway, but what I feel is हमें अपने अपने आप से एक प्रॉमिस करना चाहिए कि हम ये तो जरूर चेंज करेंगे. One small thing that we can, like he's given such beautiful quotes in the book. uh, there was one I had actually written it down. uh, some very beautiful quotes, like he says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. This is by
Yeah.
Henry quote. So let's resolve to at least adopting one small thing. What would that one small thing be for you, Monica? Let's start from there.
Okay. For me, I think I'll relate to one statement or one quote that was there is 20% of what happens is something which is what's happening to you, And 80% of that is what you do about it, right? So I will want to be positive about my actions.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a very quick example here, which suddenly just pops into my mind. Is let's say it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, मूसलाधार बारिश हो रही है. एक साइड पर आप देखोगे, some people are running to save themselves getting wet, right? कीचड़ है, गंदा लग रहा है, पैर ऊपर उठा के कपड़े ठीक से करके भाग रहे हैं कि शेल्टर मिल जाए. दूसरी साइड पर आप देखोगे कुछ बच्चे पेपर बोट बना के पानी में तैरा रहे हैं. बारिश तो सेम है, राइट? सम पीपल ट्राई टू हाइड अवे फ्रॉम दैट बिकॉज उनको लग रहा है उनके कपड़े खराब हो जाएंगे, दिन खराब हो गया, दे आर कर्सिंग द रेन कि अब ऑफिस के लिए लेट हो गए, क्या होगा टाइप्स. और वहां पे कुछ बच्चे हैं जो एंजॉय कर रहे हैं बिकॉज इट्स रेनिंग. बड़े दिनों के बाद बारिश हुई है इतनी यार, आज पेपर बोट बनाने का मौका मिला है. सो दिस इज व्हाट आई वुड वांट टू डू विद माय लाइफ. जब मौका मिले लाइफ को जी लो, कल हो ना हो.
So
So I would
beautiful.
want to look at the positivities of life going forward
Yeah.
and not dwell upon कि क्यों हो रहा है. हो रहा है, जो हो रहा है एंजॉय करो.
Very true. And I wish I can also always maintain that bit of pick that bit of advice and that bit of point that you mentioned. और मैं अपनी बात करूँ तो from today's session I would say that since you were talking about the motherhood club and how mothers are being overreactive sometimes, this is slightly going away from the book. And the takeaway I would take for myself is sometimes let's give up the small fights and let's have the big battle only. There is too much in life to do,
Yeah,
so let's not waste our energies into small little things. Let's look at the bigger picture. अभी
absolutely.
बात करते करते मेरे दिमाग में जो एग्जांपल आ रहा है, सॉरी, ऑल माय एग्जांपल्स आर आइदर थ्रू कोचिंग और पेरेंटिंग. सो so sometimes when my son is appearing for his 10 boards, so there are times when he comes and he shows his results, and there are too many prelims and tests happening in school. So my first reaction is अगर कभी नंबर अच्छे नहीं आए तो सीधा ये क्या लाइफ में क्या करने वाले हो, नालायक हो क्या, ये क्या हो गया. सो देन आई पॉज एंड देन आई थिंक, अगर मैं उसको ये वर्ड्स यूज कर रही हूँ, एंड इफ आई एम टेलिंग हिम दैट यू वोंट बी एबल टू डू एनीथिंग अहेड इन लाइफ, what am I creating for him? And
Absolutely.
and even after, okay, I'm in a position to say all that to him, but is he getting empowered by all this? My purpose is for him to achieve better results, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he's also working at. We are both working at one goal. But ये बोलने से क्या he is getting closer to his goals? Is he going to think, oh my god, my mom said such bad words, now I have to be bright and shining, and how motivating, I'm going to study hard and burn the midnight oil? Nothing. It's just going to have the opposite reaction. So since I'm dealing with this right now, so it just came into my mind. And so I want to implement this, that let's not get into those fret and fume over small things, and let's look at how we can word ourselves better and how we can empower others, how we can network. One of these chapters in this book was also about networking and
Yeah.
helping others, serving others. So charity begins at home. We can start with helping our children to perform better and do well in their exams and everything. So all they need from us
Perfect.
is just a bit of motivation. Rest they have to
Perfect.
just do their stuff.
Absolutely. So I know where to send my son once he's in class 10th because you would have gone through it by then.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know whether I'll have that patience by that time or not, but I know you already have it.
Yes, I'm all welcome for it.
All right. Great. So I think let me read through some more compliments which have come in.
Yeah,
Um, so Rima is liking the examples that we've been giving. Thank you so much, Rima. Keep listening because I'm sure This is like one of the sessions, and we'll come back with many more like this in future. Ekta says, yes, Ekta, you're right. COVID has taught many of the life lessons to all of us. It is just that I think with COVID passing by also, a lot of us have forgotten those lessons as well. We remembered it at one point in time, but now as the life is coming back to normalcy, we are tending to forget that also. So there is a need to keep reiterating, renailing these thoughts. Rima says, don't try to be perfect, Rachna. You're right in stating that. Um, okay. So Rima also comments for you, which is, what can I do to help would be nice, but you have to live and learn, which is very, very important. मुकेश जी कहते हैं, वो बारिश में नंगे पांव हंसता हुआ घर जा रहा था और मैं चाहकर भी वह नहीं कर पा रहा था, क्योंकि मेरे महंगे जूते थे, जेब में मोबाइल था और करेंसी नोट थे. सो ट्रू. मुकेश जी, मेरे एग्जाम्पल को आपने एक बहुत ही अच्छी कविता का रूप दे दिया है. थैंक यू सो मच. आई फील ऑनर्ड, बिकॉज आई थिंक ये आए दिन होता है. बारिश के टाइम पे आपको इस तरह के डेफिनेटली लोग अपने आसपास में दिखाई दे जाएंगे, और वो कुछ बच्चे नाव चलाते हुए या फिर वो साइकिल का पहिया घुमाते हुए भी दिखाई दे जाएंगे. राइट. Great. So, coming to the end of this amazing, wonderful discussion with Rachna. Rachna, you've been a fantastic co-reader and a co-host with me. Right. It was amazing talking to you, and I think both of us enjoyed reading this book. And more than reading this book, I think I enjoyed talking to you about this book, right? Because before the session, also, when we connected, we discussed and we spoke about certain things. So, whatever was probably not in our minds, each of us helped bring that up. So, which was great, right? So, giving a quick closure and a synopsis of the book once again for the benefit of our listeners and viewers. This book is all about having a positive attitude in life. And the author wants to say that if you have the right attitude, if your thought process, if your attitude is in the right place, the sky is the limit for you when it comes to your achievements. And how can you do it is all there in this book. I'll read out few lines as a closing comment. You have to be consistent in maintaining a positive attitude, because your thoughts will ultimately become your reality. You have to watch your words, what you use, because you are ultimately programming your mind for success, mediocrity, or failure by using the appropriate words. You have to confront your fears, and you really need guts and courage to have that, right? Because when the potential will be developed, you should not be afraid of taking up that. You have to find that little silver lining in every dark cloud. मूसलाधार बारिश में ही नाव चल सकती है. Find that happiness. Okay. Make a commitment. This is like the bottom line of the entire thing, guys. मतलब अगर commitment नहीं करी तो कुछ नहीं है, right? Decide, figure out, yes, I have to be. Follow this entire thing with the positive streak of your mind and the persistence. Do not give up. Hope, as they say, hope, belief, faith. Have these three things continuously for you, and the achievement is right there. Whether it is achievement of happiness, achievement of wealth, achievement of health, it could be anything that you're looking out for. Okay. So this is all that Rachna and I had to share. But guys, again reiterating, go get this book, read it out. Jeff Keller has written beautiful book in a very, very simple English, right? Which would be very easy to understand and implement in your own lives. Even if one aspect is implemented, I'm sure there would be some benefit which will accrue to you.
And I
All right.
so agree with Monica. And I would
Yep.
like to again thank all of you in the Motherhood Club for this lovely platform. I think if we had more time, me and Monica would have gone on and on with this
Yeah.
session. The way we've loved the book and we've loved the session
Yeah.
also. And I hope we have
Absolutely.
more of such ones.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rachna. Thank you for being there. And I wish everybody out there who's listening to us now or who would listen to us in future a very, very warm good evening and a happy time ahead of the day, whatever is left. We'll come back with another book reading session on the last Wednesday of April. So keep looking out, keep watching out. Till then, good night. Bye bye.
Bye.